In a dimly lit karaoke bar in Mexico City, a man known only as Jack is building an empire that kills 200 Americans every day. He's not Mexican, he's not a cartel leader, he's a Chinese triad operative, and he's part of a network most people have never heard of.
Last year, fentanyl overdoses killed 100,000 people.
And in New York's opioid crisis, more people are dying from overdoses.
Law enforcement along the southern border say that the massive container ships bound for Mexico's western ports.
The fentanyl coming in toys, we see it coming in food products.
There is a huge percentage of people involved in the drug trade that are never caught, that are never identified, that are never prosecuted.
What Jack represents isn't just another drug operation. It's a criminal revolution that's rewriting the rules of global crime. We're talking about an alliance between Chinese triads and Mexican cartels that's created the most sophisticated drug trafficking and money laundering network in human history. This isn't your grandfather's organized crime.
So we're not just dealing with drug cartels and Chinese triad. We're dealing with the Chinese Ministry of State Security, the United Front Department of the Communist Party. They are organizing both fentanyl shipments to Mexico. At some level, they're involved in the manufacturing and doing it with the goal of killing American kids.
Forget everything you think you know about how cartels move money. No more duffel bags stuffed with cash. No more sketchy Miami banks. No more briefcases full of dirty bills. This operation has perfected a new system. A system so advanced that billions of dollars can be laundered without a single bill crossing a border. They're using financial tricks that would make Wall Street jealous.
It's completely invisible to the authorities that might wish to crack down on it. This illicit money finances all kinds of things.
But behind these sophisticated financial schemes are real bodies, real families, real communities destroyed. Over 100,000 Americans died from overdoses last year, most from fentanyl.
Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that basically acts on the same receptors in the brain as heroin, morphine, opium, all that.
I beg of the Supreme Court, do not let this family stand under an umbrella made of our children's blood. They need to be held responsible for what they did.
That's more than in the entire Vietnam War compressed into 12 months. And this alliance? They're just getting started.
Last year, fentanyl overdoses killed 100,000 people. New research shows how Mexican cartels mass-produce fentanyl with chemicals that are sourced in China.
Here's what makes this story truly disturbing. Evidence suggests Jack isn't just a rogue criminal. His triad, the infamous 14K, has rumored connections that go all the way to Beijing.
We have had, more overdose deaths in 1 year than we did of COVID deaths in our city.
When overdose deaths hit record highs in 2022, China suddenly ended all drug cooperation with America. Coincidence? Or was that the point? Some former U.S. intelligence officials believe this isn't just about money. They think it's economic warfare disguised as crime. Tonight, we're going inside this deadly alliance. We'll show you exactly how Jack's secret mirror transactions go undetected. We'll meet the other players in his shadowy network and investigate whether the crisis devastating American families is actually serving Chinese strategic interests. This is a story about greed, power, and possibly something much darker. Jack isn't working alone. Intelligence reports and court documents reveal a pattern. Chinese triad operatives embedded with Mexican cartels, each playing a specific role in this deadly machinery. Meet the alliance. Samuel is the flashy lieutenant, the type who flaunts wealth on encrypted messaging apps while Americans die in the streets. Court documents describe triad operatives like Samuel living lavishly off drug proceeds, posting photos of Rolexes and Lamborghinis. They see the crisis as a business opportunity, not a human tragedy. Then there's Fatty, the cultural bridge. These are Chinese-Mexican intermediaries who speak both languages, understand both cultures, and make the impossible connections possible. They're the ones who can walk into a cartel meeting and a Beijing business dinner with equal comfort. Without figures like Fatty, this alliance couldn't exist. the Triads belong to the 14K, one of the world's most powerful criminal organizations. Founded in post-war China, the 14K has tentacles reaching from Hong Kong to Vancouver to Mexico City. But here's what makes them particularly dangerous. Unlike other criminal groups, the 14K has rumored connections right at the top of Beijing's power structure. Former FBI officials note how 14K operatives attacked Hong Kong democracy protesters, not for money, but seemingly as a favor to Beijing. The same organization now supplies Mexican cartels with precursor chemicals hidden in shipments labeled as furniture and industrial equipment. Those furniture shipments the alliance uses? They're hiding something far deadlier than anyone realizes. But manufacturing fentanyl is only half the battle.
We see the fentanyl coming in toys, we see it coming in food products. We've introduced canine training to detect fentanyl, and just in the last few months, they've made over 10 fentanyl seizures.
The real genius of this operation lies in something most law enforcement agencies are still trying to understand: how to move $50 billion without leaving a trace. To understand how the alliance kills Americans daily, you need to follow the chemical highway. It starts in China, in factories that look completely legitimate. Companies like Hubei Aox, a real chemical manufacturer that the U.S. indicted in 2023 for supplying fentanyl precursors to Mexican cartels. Hubei Aox wasn't some back-alley operation. This was a licensed company with a professional website, quality certifications, and international shipping contracts. But hidden in their legitimate chemical catalog were the building blocks of America's deadliest drug crisis. The precursors travel disguised as everything from makeup ingredients to furniture polish. A single shipping container labeled industrial solvent can contain enough chemicals to produce millions of fentanyl pills. And here's the genius: every step of this supply chain looks completely legal until the final moment. Mexican cartels have learned to source from multiple Chinese suppliers simultaneously. If one gets shut down, 5 others are ready to take their place. It's like playing whack-a-mole, except every mole that pops up can kill thousands of people.
You just buy some precursors, you mix it up in a lab, and you've got your drug. So the profit margins are massive on synthetic drugs.
Once these chemicals reach Mexico, the Triads provide something cartels never had before: technical expertise. Chinese chemists, either working directly with Triads or hired through them, teach cartel cooks how to maximize potency and minimize waste. It's turned fentanyl production from a crude operation into a precision industry.
Law enforcement along the southern border say that the Mexican cartels control the majority of the border with the United States.
But making fentanyl is only half the battle. The real revolution the Triads brought to the cartels is something that stumped law enforcement for years: how to move $50 billion in drug proceeds without ever putting a single bill on an airplane. The answer will change everything you think you know about money laundering. Every crumpled $20 bill from a fentanyl deal in Chicago becomes a weapon against America. And the people cleaning that money aren't who you think they are. Here's how the alliance turned your everyday currency into the fuel for a financial revolution. Why $20 bills? They're the sweet spot for money launderers. Small enough that dealers prefer them, common enough that they don't attract attention, but valuable enough to move serious money quickly. A briefcase of 20s holds $400,000. A briefcase of hundreds? That screams federal investigation. In 2024, federal agents recorded something extraordinary in a New York restaurant. They watched a man transfer $100,000 worth of cryptocurrency called Tether in under 5 minutes, using nothing but his smartphone. No banks, no wire transfers, no paperwork. Just a few taps on a screen, and 6 figures vanished into the digital void. This is the new face of cartel money laundering. While the DEA is still looking for duffel bags full of cash, the Triads are moving millions through encrypted apps, cryptocurrency exchanges and digital wallets that exist in legal gray zones. They've gone from analog to digital in less than 5 years. But cryptocurrency is just the beginning. The real innovation the Alliance brought to international crime is something called mirror transactions, a system so sophisticated that it can move billions of dollars without a single bill crossing a border. It's called flying money. And it's about to change everything you understand about organized crime. The genius is in its simplicity. While law enforcement agencies coordinate across multiple countries to track one wire transfer, these operations can move the same amount of money in hours using a system that's technically not even illegal. Here's how they do it. Picture this. A cartel dealer in Los Angeles has $50,000 in cash from fentanyl sales. He hands it to one of Jack's people in a restaurant. That money never leaves American soil. But somehow, that same day, $50,000 worth of clean pesos appears in Sinaloa, Mexico. This is flying money. The Triads don't move money, they move debt. Those dirty dollars go to wealthy Chinese nationals who need to bypass Beijing's currency controls. They pay equivalent yuan into Triad accounts in China. Now the Triads owe the cartels clean pesos in Mexico. To complete the circle, they use legitimate trade. Chinese goods flow to Mexico at artificially low prices. Mexican businesses sell them at market price and pay the cartels with legitimate profits. A $75 billion trade boom that's actually the world's largest money laundering operation. Most audacious of all, the Triads guarantee their service. If DEA seizes the cartel's cash, they replace it. What kind of criminal organization has the resources and confidence to offer a money-back guarantee on federal drug seizures? This is financial engineering that rivals Wall Street, funded by American deaths. If this story is blowing your mind, hit that like button. We're just scratching the surface of how deep this criminal empire goes. And make sure you're subscribed to Crime Lords, because what we're about to show you next will change how you see the crisis forever. While Jack counts his profits in a Mexico City karaoke bar, the human cost of his empire plays out every day on American streets. Poughkeepsie, New York, has the highest overdose rate in the state. This is ground zero for America's deadliest crisis.
And in New York's opioid crisis, more people are dying from overdoses, parents grieving, and doctors pushing for change.
The numbers are staggering. The DEA's most recent seizure in New York alone contained enough fentanyl to kill every person in New York City 9 times over. That's 72 million lethal doses from a single bust. And investigators trace the supply chain back to Jack's network. The cruel irony? While American families plan funerals, the people responsible for this crisis are getting rich and powerful. But here's the question that keeps intelligence officials awake at night. Are these deaths just collateral damage from criminal greed, or could they be serving a larger purpose? In 2022, as overdose deaths hit record highs, China ended all drug cooperation with America. The timing wasn't coincidental. It came during escalating tensions over Taiwan and trade. China's message, drug cooperation is leverage, not law enforcement.
We are now seizing 10, 20, 50,000 pills at a time. And the reason that is so frightening is because those fentanyl-laced pills are getting into every aspect of our community.
The numbers are staggering. $154 billion in illicit funds flow through China annually. China's financial system allows dirty money to vanish into infrastructure projects and international investments. State-owned banks, massive construction companies, all potential endpoints for laundered cartel proceeds. Chinese President Xi Jinping has championed the Belt and Road Initiative as economic diplomacy, but analysts worry that the same financial channels moving legitimate investment also move illicit funds. When billions flow into overseas projects, tracing the money's origin becomes nearly impossible.
We have been, just over the last several years, seeing a huge influx of fentanyl coming into our community.
The question intelligence officials won't say publicly, is this opportunistic crime or economic warfare? When the same networks that attacked Hong Kong protesters now supply American drug dealers, the line between organized crime and state policy becomes dangerously blurred. Either way, the alliance has proven remarkably resilient. Right now, Jack is in his karaoke bar planning the next shipment. Samuel is flashing blood money on encrypted apps. Fatty is opening new trade routes. The $650 billion global drug trade keeps expanding, and they're always one step ahead. This alliance between Chinese Triads and Mexican cartels has built a death machine disguised as international business. They've weaponized legitimate trade, turned cryptocurrency into a cartel tool, and made American suffering incredibly profitable. The most terrifying part? This is just the beginning. When crime and geopolitics merge at this scale, the rules change completely. And somewhere in America right now, another family is about to get the worst phone call of their lives, funded by a system designed to be unstoppable.